All right, Jason, we are just going live in the next few seconds here, so just give some people time to come in and join us. It's
Awesome.
a few minutes here, so
Good to see you again, Russell, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been what, 3 years or something?
Yeah. Oh man, we're still kicking around, buddy.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So yeah, let me just invite my Discord to come while we're waiting for people to get in here. So I'll just give them a quick shout out, and yeah, then we can get started. So yeah. So I'm excited for tonight, Jason. I think it's gonna be a really interesting presentation. I've got it queued up here, so in the next few minutes we can get started. Welcome everybody. I see people are starting to watch. So it's going to be a fun session with Jason. Hopefully you guys already know Jason pretty well.
They better know me, Russell.
Yeah. Chris says Jason Bond ! Yeah, it's the real deal.
Yeah. Hell Jason yeah. We are back, baby. We are back.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, so let's get started with the presentation. So I have a Jason's presentation here somewhere for you guys. Let's see, here we go. Let's go here. I'm going to put this onto the screen. So yeah, I'm going to make this full screen. So Betty Lamb says, I'm excited. Yeah, I am too, guys. This is going to be good. So I've known Jason for a few years now, and it's been great working with you, Jason. So I'm excited for the presentation. And yeah, let's get going. So I'll put this full screen, and then hopefully we can just start here in the next few minutes. Let's get this going.
Yeah, you tell me. I'm ready. I'm always ready to go. This one's easy for me. This is one of my favorite strategies, other than penny stocks, like, because I feel like that's a strategy that, you know, the big money doesn't mess around with. So us little guys have an advantage. And when I say little, I mean like as far as like multi-million-dollar accounts, but we're not talking about hedge funds. But this one is really good.
Yep.
You let me know when you fire away, Russell.
Yeah, you can start. You see the slides on the screen. Hopefully everybody can see it pretty clearly.
Yeah. So, you know, 20 years ago, Jeff Bishop taught me how to trade penny stocks. I had a lot of success. I traded his portfolio initially. I doubled it, I think, the first year. So he gave me $200,000, which as a school teacher was a lot of money. I'd never seen that much money before. And he just let me trade it, of course, under his guidance. And I forget what year it was. Don't quote me, but it's all on record. And I doubled it. And he's like, why don't you take half of it? And I said, no, I don't want any of it. Just keep teaching me how to trade. Of course, he's Mensa, which is, if you don't know, one of the highest IQs in the world. And also doctorate level coursework in options trading. So we're talking about a professional trader here. Now I was cold calling everybody, Market Watch, Wall Street Journal, you know, Seeking Alpha, trying to get somebody to teach me to trade so I could teach people to trade. Most people don't know, but I have a master's in education. I started my second master's in education to be a principal. I taught for 10 years, kids with disabilities in public schools for a decade, but unfortunately it didn't pay the bills. So I learned how to trade. And then I also turned it into a business teaching people how to trade. So a lot of success trading penny stocks early on in my career. Probably like 5 or 6 years in, Jeff's like, you should start learning how to sell options. And so, what does that mean? So he taught me. Of course, he had been doing it for a long time, and it went really well for me. I've done very well selling options. In fact, one small claim to fame, I'm no hot shot or anything, but I was teaching Damon John from Shark Tank how to sell options at one point in time. There's a lot of videos and pictures online of me showing him how to do that. So anyways, Jeff taught me how to do that stuff. And I put together this slide deck to try and teach people, because unfortunately, when you sign up for a brokerage account, they give you level 1 options clearance, which allows you to buy a call or sell or buy a put. These are the worst probability option strategies out there, and nobody knows it when they're new, and they usually blow up their account and quit and think that they suck, and it's not true. So what I'm trying to prove with this slide here is that there's research, and there are articles out there, if you search for it, that if you're day trading, you're probably going to lose money. It's very hard. Most people don't know this. But more importantly, studies have shown that like 97% of future day traders lose money over a year, right? Study after study shows that day trading is very hard. You can flip to the next one here, Russell. So the bottom line is like day trading is very hard. And if, for those of you who are new, day trading, you're entering today, you're selling the same day. Some people can do it really well. You really got to be glued to the computer. It's hard. I don't like being stuck to the computer. I've got dogs. I want to be outside, whatnot. But what Bloomberg here is saying is that mom and pop, us, the retail traders, are getting their butts kicked in the options market. Now, nobody likes to talk about this, but I think the guy, Tom Sosnoff, who built Thinkorswim, now that's with Charles Schwab, he's moved on to Tasty Trade. He's published all the data, and they've shown that like mom and pop traders, I'm a pop, mom and pop traders are getting destroyed buying calls and puts. All right, so that first bullet point says a way to play the lottery just with the financial market, right? So people like options because you can get big explosive moves, but over time, can you make money, right? All right, we can go to the next one here. What I'm trying to prove with these slides is time and time again, the media is letting you know that you're not likely to make money. However, you go on YouTube and everybody and their brother, sister is telling you that they've got a secret sauce strategy that's going to make you money. Now, I've subscribed to all the really good traders on the internet, and I've learned almost everything you can learn. I wouldn't say I'm the best trader in the world, but here's another one from the Economic Times. New options traders don't learn cycling with a one-wheel bike. It's like, we go to the next one. It's just, you guys and gals, this is a simple Google search. Market Watch, brokerages benefited from the gamification of options investing. Call it what it is. It's gambling. Robinhood generated $164 million from options trading in 2021 alone. And then Q3 2021 alone, right? It's only grown substantially since then. All right, go ahead to the next one. What I'm trying to prove here is if you don't know what you're doing with options, you're going to blow up your account. Same with penny stocks, same with all forms of trading. So risk.net, it's amateur hour. Retail traders upended the options market. Cutting edge data shows non-professionals are driven by news events and desire to make a quick buck. And there is no such thing as a quick buck. Go ahead, Russ. We'll go to the next one here. New York Times. Robinhood has lured young traders sometimes with devastating results. Now, what you guys don't understand is when they say devastating results, I'm not just talking about financial, I'm talking about actual suicide. There was a situation where Robinhood gamifies options trading, and a young man was selling options, risk defined, but if you get assigned overnight, it looks like you have a huge margin call in the morning. So he woke up in the morning, he was down about $700,000 on a trade, but he didn't understand he had the back portion of that trade to cover it. In other words, exercise the put against the one that he sold, and actually took his life because he was so upset about the devastating loss, when in fact the loss was just a few $1,000s. But the app showed him down a ton. You can research this. So again, the gamification of trading, like casinos, can be devastating if people don't know what they're doing. Go ahead and flip to the next one, Russ. Mint.com, Zero HDA, explains why most retail traders lose money in option buying a call, buying a put. Next one. On and on and on, guys and gals. CNBC, options trading hits a record powered by retail investors, but most are playing a losing game. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is MIT. These are pretty smart people. Most of us couldn't go to MIT. Retail investors lose big in option markets, research shows. Next one. All right, so what do we know about all of those articles? What they're specifically saying is when you sign up for options trading, and if you're in the YouTube channel here, type yes if you understand what I'm saying. When you sign up to be a trader, your broker gives you level 1 options clearance, which is your ability to buy a call or buy a put, the lowest probability trade that you can make in the market. Type yes if you understand that. Now, I argue that that's a scam because it's almost a surefire way for you to lose your money. First of all, if you're trading options on Apple or Tesla or all these volatile stocks, Rocket Labs, RKLB, your probability of winning is very low. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30%, which means somebody else is on the other side of that trade. Somebody else is on the other side of the trade. Now, I launched this service. It's called Weekly Windfalls a long time ago. It was so popular, we even we called it Wall Street Bookie just to kind of make it look sexy. And we put it on a NASCAR car and raced it. I believe it was at Talladega or Daytona. All right. But what I'm trying to show you here with that spreadsheet, go back one. Yeah, Russell, real quick. What I'm trying to show you on this spreadsheet is those are all real money trades that I did. And you can see of all those trades, I guess there's 50, there was 3 losses. Why? Because the buyer of options has a very low probability of winning. The seller of options has a really high probability of winning. But you can't just sell an option without a big portfolio. So how do we do it? I'm going to teach you. We can go on, Russ.
Okay.
Why did I create this service? All right, I've called it Weekly Windfalls, and the bottom line is enter trades on Monday, Tuesday, and we're trying to get a windfall, right? A windfall means like make money on Friday, payday, right? Options weeklies expire on Friday. So we sell them on Monday or Tuesday, and we try to get the windfall by Friday. Now, why did I create this? A more certain side of options trading. It's common sense. The biggest wins, yet the biggest losses are from buying options. All right. Now, I'm not against buying options, but if you're going to buy a call, you best sell a put. This is what the best traders in the world are doing. All right. We can go forward. I've done it. I've had huge wins. My biggest win on an option buy was $252,000 on Tesla puts. Right. But I've had $400,000 losses on Charles Schwab calls. So buying options alone is a very dangerous game. So I refined my approach. We'll go ahead and pull up this next part here, Russ.
Yep.
Selling options instantly stacks the odds in your favor. It's like being the casino. It's like being State Farm. It's like being Allstate. And I like to do this with big money at times. I'll put a couple $100,000 on trades when I'm feeling frisky, when I think I have the odds. Casinos know this much. If you stay in the casino long enough, their slight advantage on odds is going to take your money. This is why they give you free drinks. This is why they give you free dinner and breakfast. This is why they give you free rooms. The longer you stay, even if you win initially, the longer you stay, those odds will come back and get you. So the seller of options is the same way. And the next bullet point here kind of reinforces that, Russell. We'll skip to that. I amplified my experience here by trading momentum stocks. So all I do is look for earnings winners with strong guidance, right? So Meta recently had a great earnings beat, strong guidance. The market's been sloppy lately. Meta's come into the 10-day EMA. It's probably going to go back up. So as it's drifting lower, we're just selling put spreads all the time on it, expecting it to go back up. Unless Trump does something crazy with tariffs, Meta's going to go back up. Even with NVIDIA's drop, Meta still stayed the course today because they themselves had great earnings. All right, we'll jump to the next one. So, all right, we can just add a little bit more here, Russ. Yep. All right, so what did I want after like years and years of like buying options? I would have huge wins, huge losses. I wanted a more consistent strategy. And I still buy options all the time, but I was sick of playing the up and down roller coaster game. Like if you read books on trading, they talk about boom or bust trading. So it's great. Yay, I had a $252,000 win on Tesla puts, but I had a $400,000 loss on Charles Schwab calls back during the banking crisis. So we want to try to control the risk and then push in our chips when we feel like we have a big edge. All right. So what type of strategy do I use part-time and do I use so I don't have to babysit things? I'm going to teach it to you right now. Keep it rolling there. All right. So selling options to people seems too advanced. It is. If you're selling them naked, which we're not. All right. And so let me just give you an example here. And you can just pull this whole thing up right now, Russell, please. And you're awesome at this. All right. If you buy an option, you have roughly 30 to 40% chance of making money. And when I say making money, a single dollar. If you sell an option, you have a 60 to 70% chance of making money. But if you don't have a big account, you can't just sell outright. They call that naked. So we do risk-defined spreads. Super easy trade to do. Let's keep it rolling. All right, so the numbers don't lie. This is not something that I made up. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, held a 3-year study, and they proved across that 3-year study that almost 77% of all options held to expiration expired worthless. This means today, it's Thursday, you bought a call, you bought a put, right, for next Friday, you have a 77% chance of that expiring worthless. Now, there's a lot of people like to debate this fact because of who closes it when and whatnot, but that's the CME. This is not my data. It's a published fact. All right, so 24% chance of a favorable outcome. Reason why people are okay with that is because they could hit a big win. But are you actually making money? So now let's talk about the next part. Load it up here, Russell. Buying, you're betting that something's going to happen. So today, maybe you thought Tesla was going to go up 30 points. So you buy a call, and then Tesla goes down, right? You're betting that something's going to happen when you buy a call, and when it doesn't happen, the option loses its value very fast. There's a lot of factors involved there, but the main one is time decay, and then whether it's in the money or out of the money. When you sell an option, which is bullet point 2, you're taking those bets like the casino does, and you're saying something won't happen. Now, let me just give you context on the casino. Casinos know that something won't happen. And what won't happen is over time, they have a mathematical edge, which is why they keep you in the casino, pump oxygen in the casino, have no windows in the casino, give you rooms, food, anything you want, drinks, because they know that over time, you're going to lose money. They know that. So they just have to keep you there. It's the same in the options market. So let's say today, well, I haven't lost in the last couple of weeks. I took a little bit of time off due to a divorce. That's kind of behind me. I'm back. Things are going very well. I've been selling options to people who are buying them. I might lose once in a while. I might get it wrong once in a while. But just to give you some context, I remember there was a 2-month period of time where I won 69 straight trades. 69 straight trades doing this strategy across a 2-month period of time. There was a period of time where I traded this with hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions, and I've traded it with as little as $2,000. And across 1 year, I turned $2,000 into $60,000 in 1 year using this strategy. So it works for little accounts and it works for big accounts. I prefer to do it with a bigger account because I like to make more money. More money pays the bills. All right, let's go on to the next one here. All right, so let's talk about bear calls. A bear call is simply where you're selling a call and then you're buying a call above the price of the one you sold. Think about it, all right? A bear call. When people buy a call, they're bullish. So a bear call is the seller. If somebody's going to buy something, there's got to be the opposite side of the market, somebody to sell it to them. So a bear call is when somebody sells a call and then puts a risk-defined trade above it by buying a call. And in between, you have what's called a spread or a premium, and the seller is trying to collect it, all right? So in this case, the Robinhood investor, and Robinhood investors aren't suckers anymore, but in the old days, everybody gravitated towards Robinhood because it was the fun, flashy thing. In this case, the Robinhood buyer of the calls sees the stock go from 1 to 150, and that Robinhood buyer thinks it's going to go up another $50 in week 2. So go ahead and rip this slide one more, Russell. All right. So he buys the $200 calls, expecting it to move another $50. And then when you show the next part of the slide here, Russell, the 10% odds are where that's at. And he doesn't even know it. He just sees the momentum, thinks it's going to keep going, and then it doesn't. There's 90% odds, and this is just hypotheticals, but there's 90% odds that it won't go above 200. And still you're paying something for those calls, so you actually need it to go more than 200. Point being, a lot of people who buy options don't realize the mathematical problem here. And they buy it because they see their friends on Discord or whatever calling out massive wins and whatnot. And sure, like I said, I've had some monster wins buying options, calls, or puts. But over time, am I making money? Let's go to the next one here, Russell. Yep. So now the same thing on bull puts, right? So what I like to do is I like to sell put spreads on earnings winners. And I buy calls too, but if I'm buying a call, I'm absolutely selling a put If I think a stock's going up, why wouldn't I make money on the put side too? Somebody else is betting it's going down. So in this case, the stock falls from 200 to 150. And the Robinhood sucker thinks, of course it's going down to 100. Go ahead and flip it, Russ. And so in this scenario, somebody is buying those puts for $100 and they probably cost $5. So they needed to go down to 95 just to break even. And there's 90% chance, these are rough numbers, that it won't happen. And there's a 10% chance that it will happen. So once in a while, people go into the casino, they put it all down on black, and they win once in a while. But most people don't. And so occasionally, you will get that 10% odds playing out. But everybody else is losing, and they offset because of the 90%, and the casino makes money. So as a seller of options, I know once in a while I'm going to get it wrong, but as long as I can control my risk, over time, I should make money. Let's flip it. All right, so here's how I teach live and real money, okay? And you can trade paper money. I trade paper money at times too. When you're learning something new, you absolutely should. All right, but by the end of this, I'm confident that you'll understand what we're doing. Whether you've traded options or not, I'm going to teach you how to do it, all right? No matter what. Most people think it's too complex. I think it's BS that brokers let you trade calls and puts, but don't let you sell options. This is the easiest option strategy out there. No trading is easy, all right? My compliance team will want me to warn you of that, and you know it already. But this is, in fact, the easiest way to trade options. And if you can build an account, then you can start to dabble with buying a call, buying a put, etc. All right. I thought that it was too hard as well. Jeff taught me how to do it. I can put a spread on as fast as I can buy a penny stock. All right. So chat room alerts are something that we do in my service. I use a Discord. It's pretty big. We've got a few thousand people in there. And there's a private community inside of the community where people who want the weekly Windfalls trade alerts can get it. All right. And so let's keep flipping through here. You can see how the alerts kind of look, and you can see the results there. Now, I want to be clear. I have losses too. Trading's hard. Nothing's guaranteed, etc. But there are trade alerts. They go in the chat room. They go to your email. And then I post my results. And there are journals, and you can kind of see what's happening, what's not happening, etc. So it's kind of like an easy curriculum here. I teach the stuff, and then I do the stuff, and then I show the results, and we talk about the stuff. All right, Russ, we can go to the next one. All right, so biggest thing that you need to know about me is I have a master's in education. I actually taught for 10 years. My ex-wife taught for 10 years. She has a master's in education as well. I come from a family of teachers. Well, my immediate family. Nobody else in my family went to college. I was the first. But that's me in front of 1,000 people down in Orlando teaching this strategy. This is not fake. This is real. What I'm always looking to do, and what I was teaching in that video right there in the education vault, is if we're going to sell a put spread, we have to decide if it's going to be a neutral trade, which means sideways, slightly lower, or a little bit higher. We don't want to buy a call in that situation. But there are times when we're like, okay, we can see that this stock is going to explode. We sell the put spread and we buy the calls. And that is like the bread and butter strategy. Now, there are times where it's like, I just think this stock's going to trade sideways. So I will just sell the put spread. If you don't know what a put spread is, don't worry about it. It's not any harder than buying a penny stock. All right. These are testimonials from my customers. I have almost 1,500 reviews on Trustpilot, somewhere around a 4.7 rating. And you can see the bottom one from Rick says, great explanation. I now feel more comfortable giving it a try. Rick just emailed me today. My customers have my personal email. I talk to hundreds, if not thousands of customers every single week. I have customer service as well, but I don't shy away from working with people. I'm not an investment advisor, so you can't tell me, Jay, should I buy or sell? But we can talk strategy, and you will have access to me all the time. So I just talked to Rick, not kidding you, today. All these people, they've been with me 10, 15, 20 years. All right. So you've got education, which is first and foremost. That's going to be super important. Now, I wasn't kidding you. That's either Talladega or Daytona 500. All right. And so the reason why we kind of branded it as Wall Street Bookie, because the strategy emulates what a bookmaker does. So DraftKings, it emulates what an insurance company does, like Geico. And Warren Buffett says Geico is his favorite business because he has the odds. It makes a lot of money because he has the odds. They know, they can calculate if you're in a car accident or not. They can calculate if you're going to die or not, right? So they make money over time. So bookies, DraftKings, Warren Buffett's Geico, insurance companies, casinos, they have a slight advantage. So when we did this car here in Daytona 500 or whatever it was either Daytona or Talladega Nights, we put my face on the front of the car and called it Wall Street Bookie. And that was not a cheap advertisement, but people love the strategy. So we backed the strategy with a lot of money because a lot of people join the strategy and they're like, holy cow, I didn't know it worked so good. It's not perfect and you could lose money. This is trading after all, but that's Daytona 500. And that is my face on the front of a car that actually Donald Trump acquired shortly after we no longer sponsored the car. Mr. Trump sponsored that car. It was Corey LaJoy. All right. So my point is we believe in this strategy. Lots and lots of testimonials. You can research my name. I'm not going to read all of these. Lots and lots of testimonials. But the biggest thing that you need to understand is like the headlines here. Jason Bond and Raging Bull are legit. I love Jason's transparency. Great experience with Jason. Not everybody loves me. I mean, it's trading after all. But I've got a really high rating with about 1,500 reviews. And these are all paying customers. It's not a brag, but I work really hard to make sure my customers, A, know what they're doing, and B, then I show them what I'm doing. And then we try to get better together. So education, trade alerts, and then, rinse and repeat. Try to revise it as we go. All right, Russ, we can switch to the next one here. All right, so what we're offering here tonight is a 90-day satisfaction guarantee. In other words, you can try this for 90 days, and then you tell Russell and I, listen, it's not for me. Jason didn't fulfill the service, or I'm just not winning, and no problem. We'll take care of you, okay? But that's not going to happen. I'm 99% sure. This service does not get refunds because it's real. What I teach is real. I already have the curriculum in place. You can start watching the videos literally as soon as you join. And then you can ask questions as much as you want because I'm in the chat room all day long. You'll have access to my email, and some of you will even have access to my phone number. I field phone calls from subscribers. This is a serious game here. We're talking about making or losing money. So bonus number one, 90-day satisfaction guarantee. All right, that's number one. Next slide is this strategy is a high probability strategy. The downside is you have to protect the risk when the trade goes wrong. You can only make 100%, but you can lose about 200% on a trade. Why? Because the probability is so high. A buyer of an option can make 1,000, 2,000% on a trade, but it rarely happens, going back to the 10 to 20%. A seller of an option can only make 100%, but they have 70, 80% chance of winning. And you can kind of even toggle that risk. Now, my historical, and I'm talking about thousands of trades, is somewhere around 89%. So when I say 3 out of 4 are going to win or your money back, I don't have to worry about losing this particular bet because I have spreadsheet after spreadsheet, and these have gone to compliance and they've been audited. So I know what my performance is as far as percentage wins. The thing I will tell you is you have to have defined risk on the ones that aren't working because one 200% loser could offset like 3 or 4 or 5 50% wins. So when you do get into a loser, you've got to identify it, keep the stop loss. I know this is going to sound weird at 100%, and then the math will play out over time. In other words, what you're trying to do is be a casino. Let me put it to you this way. I walk into a casino with $1 million, right? Like, Floyd Mayweather might do that, right? I could do that. Walk in with $1 million cash, and I go up to the roulette table, and I'm like, everything on black. They're not going to let me make that bet. And the reason they won't let me make that bet is because they know on any specific roll of that ball, I could win. And what they want is a lot of small bets over time, because over time they have the mathematical edge. So we have the mathematical edge with this strategy. What we don't want to do is blow up our account by saying randomly, I love this trade on Tesla here. I'm going to make it. and then that ends up being the wrong one, and you've pushed in all your chips. So the casino won't let you put that $1 million bet down, most likely, because they know you could actually wipe their night out if you get lucky. So one bet, no good. So in this strategy, what I like to teach people is pick a number, whatever the number, $10,000 on a trade. That's it. Every trade is $10,000. You keep it consistent, and you let the odds play out over time. And if you're like, Jay, but I don't even know how to do this trade yet, that's what you're going to sign up and learn. It's not complicated. Trust me. So I'm telling you, across the next year in weekly windfalls, and we'll just fire up the journal. I haven't lost one yet. Russell, are you able to pull up the alerts from the Discord room today? Are you able to do that or no?
So the ones that you sent me earlier, yeah.
Yeah, can you pull up images or?
Yeah, I'd have to change to a different slide presentation. I've got them in PowerPoint on a different one, so we could do it after the end.
Okay, yeah, let's do that after. I just want to show people kind of what it looks like there. All right, so let's jump to the next one here. So 2 guarantees, 90 days, try it out. Second one is if I don't hit 75% winners on the alerts I send you, then you can do whatever you want, get your money back. All right, so we sell this service for $14.99. We're going to discount it because Russell demanded that I do. I don't like to do discounts, generally speaking. I've done sales before, trust me. I'm in the business of teaching and selling and trading. But he wanted 33% off for his members. So the service sells for $1,499 per year. If you enter the coupon with the link that he's going to give you, you'll get 33% off, which will bring it somewhere around $999. All right. And with that, what you will get is education. The biggest thing people like, though, and that's why I have it in reverse order, trade alerts. Everybody loves trade alerts. I do encourage you to study the education. So there's 3 more bullet points here, Russell, if you just want to hit ... And so I do live workshops all the time. So if you're a subscriber, I will teach, I will answer your questions. You'll be more knowledgeable than most traders on the internet. People don't know how to do this, and it's actually a shame that brokers don't even let you do it. You're going to need level 2 or level 3 options clearance. Once I teach you, your broker is actually probably going to pat you on the back. I've had members tell me that time and time again. And I'm not talking about 5 members. I've got tens of thousands of paying customers. When you tell your broker you know how to do this, they're like, well, you've entered the smart club. And if you know how to do this already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing wrong with buying options, but if you feel there's going to be a directional move to the downside, you better sell a call spread. If you think there's going to be a directional move to the upside, you better sell a put spread. If you think that stock is going to trade sideways, slightly lower or slightly higher, then you're just selling a put spread, right? Or a call spread. But you're going to get education. You're going to get the chat room. You're going to get the education vault. So there's ongoing education. That's bullet point number 1, live education, just like this. You're going to get the chat room. You're going to get the vault, which is all the education I've done over the years. And trust me, it's extensive and it is good. I don't mess around with this stuff. But the thing that people love the most is trade alerts. So I post a trade alert in the chat room. Russell will kind of show you in a second. And then I send an email, and we're introducing SMS text messages as well. But that'll be probably a month or 2 down the road. So if you're not in the chat room, you'll get a text message. But right now, if you're not in the chat room, you'll get an email. And these are swing trades because all we're doing is playing theta decay, which is one of the Greeks. All right, so you'll use the link that Russell provided you. You do need to enter that coupon correctly, which is 33, the percentage sign, OFF, 33% off. And then you do need to hit apply. If you don't hit apply, you're going to pay full price. So enter the coupon code and then check it out for 90 days. See if you like it. And if I don't win 75% of the trades, you have 2 ways to get out of this. A, you don't like it in 90 days, or B, I just trade like crap. So those are the options there. I think there's one more piece down below there, Russell, if you want to hit it once more. Those are the 2 bonuses. So bonus 1 and bonus 2.
Yep.
I stand by those. This isn't rocket science, guys and gals. I've been doing this for a long time. It's one of my most popular strategies. I was telling people the other day, when I launched this, I don't know when it was maybe 6 years ago when I launched this. In 30 minutes, I sold $2 million worth of newsletters on this because my members trusted me that much. $2 million in 30 minutes time. People joined that strategy, and the refund ratio was next to nothing. This is no hype. This is no YouTube BS. You know what I'm talking about when you see all that stuff. It's a great strategy. It's not perfect. Got to control the losses, keep them at 100%, hit the high win rate, And like I said, you run into a hot streak like I did when I won 69 trades in a row across 2 months. My members were just ecstatic. And the wins are generally somewhere between 30 to 70%. But we want to exit usually between 30 to 50% and keep the losses at 100%, and then just act like the casino. Over time, the buyers of options are going to lose. We just keep selling them. And there's strategies that I use for that, like the 10-day EMA and the Keltner channels, and I'll teach you all about that. But if, right, Russell, I mean, I've been talking for a little bit. If there's any questions, we can go over it. Otherwise, you know, you can pull up those 2 images. I just want to get these were just trades that I literally just did, I think, Tuesday into Wednesday. Yeah, the ones that I gave you there, Tuesday into Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. There's lots of questions. So first of all, I'm going to post the link so that you guys can actually join Jason on this stuff as quickly as possible. So I'm a member. I've actually been a member of over the years with Jason with all his services. I've reviewed a lot of them on this channel. So if you've never come to this channel before, definitely subscribe and come and check out all the reviews I do. I look at lots of different services, but Jason's one of the top guys that I've reviewed over the last 5 years, 6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
I appreciate it, Russell. Yeah, I like working with you.
So yeah, so I'm just posting the link to the to get weekly Windfalls. One of my favorite services, by the way.
Yeah, and I didn't tell people, but one of the perks with weekly Windfalls, and not a lot of people know this, but I'm very good at UVXY puts, and I make a lot of money basically betting against the VIX. I'm not going to give away my secret sauce there, so you'll have to be in the service to get it. But if you talk to my members, almost every single day, they're like, talk to me about the VIX. I know exactly when to do it. Most people don't understand how the VIX works and how it's tied to S&P 500 options, et cetera, and in the dual level of, you know, decay in, you know, the UVXY especially. It's a fantastic trade. So if I do anything options related, it's in weekly Windfalls. Everybody seems to know me from Jason Bond Picks, and you know, that's because I worked on that 10 years relentlessly. And I mean, at one point in time, my visibility on YouTube was bigger than CNBC's visibility. We're running about $3 million a month in ads. So as far as small caps go, I know that inside and out. A lot of people like to trade options. I do too. The best way to do it is what I'm teaching here. And then when you think you have a directional move, you also add the buy of the call and buy of the put. But when markets get scared, which they do from time to time, UVXY is the fear index. Well, VIX is, and UVXY is just a 1.5 multiplier on that. I'd love to buy puts against that when the time is right, and the gains can be. I don't want to say anything's guaranteed, but if there's anything that's guaranteed in trading, or close to guaranteed in trading, I should say, buying puts on the UVXY when the time is right is good. Yeah, so that's the gains right there. Let's just go up to the trade alerts here real quick. So this is just the other day here, guys and gals, and these are just some bull puts, which is the strategy that I'm going to teach you. So if you go to the other image above that one, yeah, right there, good. If we could just expand that a little, I don't know if people can see it or not. They probably
I can go full screen with it.
Perfect, yeah.
All right, that should be better.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so what you see here is just the trade alerts. So this is our Discord channel. This is a VIP channel, so you have to be a paying customer to get access to it. And you can very clearly see that, well, this was not yesterday, it was Tuesday. But you can very clearly see like the coin trade alert. Now, if you're like, what the hell is that? Minus 160, 155. I'm just selling the 160 puts because I thought coins were going to go up. Coin being the broker, but you know, Bitcoin in general. And then I buy the 155 for my protection. It's a risk-defined trade. I can't lose too much money. And then I did another one on Tesla, minus 410 plus 400. And then the exit alerts go in the channel just like that. It's not hard to find. And they also go to your email. And it's like coin is in the boat. That's like a fish. You don't get to eat your food unless the fish gets in the boat. So I like to refer to like my exits as like coin in the boat. I'm out at 53 cents, 2,700 bucks or 70%. And then also Tesla in the boat. At 180 plus 44% of 1420. Now, if we could just show the next image to kind of reinforce the fact that this happened, so you can see the trades right here, guys and gals, right? And so the transparency is there. This is what we do every day. Like I said, I did 69 of these in a row without a loss across 2 months. That was my best winning streak ever in any form of trading. It was awesome. And I'll play this with hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll paper trade this. I'll do it with small accounts. Do whatever you want. I mean, if you're new, I would suggest doing it with paper trading or one contract. But when you're learning new stuff, you don't have to use real money. But as far as strategies go, it is absolutely one of the best. And like I said, if you like call and put buying, with the exception of like zero DTEs, because there wouldn't be enough premium left for you to sell options on a zero DTE. But if you're looking at an option that is expiring in 5 days, there's plenty of premium left. We look for 30% of the width of the spread, all easy things for me to teach you. And I'm telling you, it is a very nice way to trade. I guess the only thing I tell you is I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this, and I've turned my best performer. I mean, I've had some 2K accounts go to zero too, but I had a 2K account go to $63,000 in under a year, a $2,000 account doing this. So whether you're a little guy or gal or a big fish, it's scalable and it's actually very good. And it is absolutely the #1 strategy you should learn about options trading before you do anything else. And that's a fact, man. You read all the good books about trading, all the good books, and they'll be like, defined risk, bear calls, or bull puts. And everybody always says, well, what if I get assigned? You've got the other side of the leg. Your phone will look like you have a margin call. You don't, because you have the other side of the leg. You just exercise in the morning, call your broker, say, exercise it yourself. It's a super safe strategy. It's defined risk. You can only lose what you bet. That's it. If you were to sell them naked, which you probably couldn't unless you had millions of dollars, and if you have millions of dollars, you probably already know this, you can't sell them naked. You can't. So your risk is limited, like defined. And that's a wrap, Russell. I mean, it's a good strategy, man. I love working with you. So I'm so excited to be back. I've been off for about 10 months. And things are going really well for me. I'm back in the saddle. I just had a $7,000 winner on a penny stock tonight. That's a completely different, strategy, but you put out the link, people can join, make sure they use the coupon right. I hate when they forget to put the coupon in and apply it, because then I have to refund people. So guys and gals, when you put the coupon in, you must press the button that says apply the coupon. Make sure you see your discount before you hit join. I deal with this all the time, and people put the coupon in, they just assume that it's applied. There's a button that says apply coupon. So what do you got as far as questions? Anybody got
a lot of comments from people. It seemed like a lot of people are happy to see you back. So I'll put some of the stuff up as we go. So
it's good to be back. Look at you. You're like a YouTube star, man. I would never know how to do this. You got banners up and stuff. Thank you, Betty. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Colleen.
Good to see you live.
Yeah, I know. It's been 10 months. I know. Divorce is hard, guys and gals. I would encourage you never to get divorced if you can avoid it. Oh, there he is. Shay, good to see you, man. About time you got YouTube going. Yeah, I know. We're working on it. I know, Jay. I've known a lot of you guys for a long time, man. Some of these people have been with me for 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Chris got some cheddar today, it sounds like.
Yeah. We haven't lost. I don't think I've lost a trade since I've been back. Knock on wood. I don't have any around me, but.
Well, yeah, Chris has been with you since 2020, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, geez, I started in 2011, and there was a couple people in the chat room the other day saying they remember the website was called Penny Stock Live at the time. Good to see you, David. Good to see you. Hello to you as well.
Anyone have questions? Just type them in now. We've still got plenty of time if you want to ask Jason some questions.
Yeah, I'm not in any rush. After this, I just got to get back to work. So
I'm just going through all the comments. Yeah, so sorry about the
Ryan, I hear you. It's okay. Yeah, it was 30 years, so I got 30 good years out of that marriage. But thanks. I appreciate you saying. Ryan says, glad to hear you teaching again. Yeah, I'm glad to be teaching again as well. Divorce is tough. If you can avoid it, avoid it. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, Gary, I'm glad I'm back too, man. Let's rock and roll. We'll get you some cheddar tomorrow. Did you guys see that trade tonight? What was it? Oh, goodness. I'll pull it up on my phone. We had a monster.
It was Mesa, right?
We had a monster. It was some low float penny stock that had a breakout on news. XWEL. It's still doing good. But at its peak, I was up about 7,500, and I sent out the trade alert to everyone like, we can go for more, but this is good enough. Pays the bills. Already had 2 wins with JB in the news services. I love it, Drew. I know Drew Hunter. Oh, yes. Richard says, don't forget to apply the coupon. God, guys and gals, I'm like 2 weeks into my business here since I've been back, And when people don't apply the coupon, I have to refund them. And then that hurts, Russell, it hurts my reputation with, the processor. It's like, apply the coupon. Who is this, Ryan? Where's JV's? No, so I own Raging Bull. I'm running my services by myself now. So, and Jeff Bishop's helping me, who is the majority owner of Raging Bull. So I still own my Raging Bull. I still help out over at Raging Bull. But I've always wanted to run a Discord, and it's already getting pretty big. We're coming up on 2,000 members. So it's pretty exciting. But we've always wanted to, and since I came back from the divorce, it was a good time to kind of give it a shot. And it's going great. I like it. I don't know Discord. I'm 49, so it's like the kids all know what to do, and they're all telling me. When I say the kids, like the 20 and 30-year-olds, they're like, you got to do this, got to do that. You, Russell, I don't know how old you are, but all these young guys are like, Jay, you could do this better. And I was like, I'm getting there, man. Give me time. My brain's not as elastic as yours.
Yep. Okay, cool. Any more questions? There's one question here. If you have questions, just let's have them. And here's one question.
Yeah, great question right here. Looks like Andy, I guess I'll say, or Andrew says, on average, how long do you want to stay in the trade? All right, so the way that theta works, which is time decay, theta is just the Greek for time. So the reason why buying options is so hard is if you think a directional move is going to happen, it needs to happen in the time frame that you think, and generally sooner versus later, because each day that it doesn't happen, you lose the theta on the option. What we're doing as the seller is we're selling the time decay. That's it. The buyer is saying, I think this stock's going to go up huge. The seller is saying, I think you're wrong. And the seller is generally right, because if it was that easy to pick direction on stocks, then we'd all be like billionaires, right? So statistically, mathematically, the CME proved it's almost like 77% of the time options expire worthless because they lose their time decay and they're out of the money. So how long do we do it? If you did this 6 months out, it'd be boring as all get out. If you did it 3 months out, it'd be boring. If you did it 2 months out, it'd be boring. Options lose their value the fastest in the final 5 to 7 days. So the reason they lose their value the fastest in the final 5 to 7 days is because that theta just completely erodes, right? It goes to zero. So if those options are out of the money, which they generally are, most options expire worthless, the seller collects all the premium. Think of it this way. You pay your car insurance on day one. It's a 30-day policy. You get to the end of the 30 days and you've not been in a car accident, you don't file any claims. That premium that you paid, State Farm, Geico, Allstate keeps. So options are the same way. Most people don't understand this, but they were created as insurance for stocks. One time I had $1 million position in Tesla. I just bought $1 million worth of Tesla stock. Well, Elon's a little bit unpredictable. So I might want to buy some out of the money put options in case he does something crazy, right? To protect my $1 million. I'm okay if those options expire worthless because I'm insuring my $1 million position. But just in case, I want to protect it. Car insurance is the same way. None of us want to get in a car accident. We pay our premium on day one, and we're happy that it goes to zero on day 30 because we haven't been in a car accident. But in the rare event that Elon does something crazy or we get in a car accident, that's where the person who takes the bet, in this case, State Farm or Geico, or in the market, right, the put seller, right, or the call seller. So it's just options are insurance, and somebody has to sell them. So if you want to act like Warren Buffett's favorite business, Geico, if you want to act like DraftKings, you see all these DraftKings commercials with Chris Rock. You know why they can afford to do that? Because they're cleaning up. Most people are getting their butts kicked gambling, right? So it exists in casinos. It exists with bookies. It exists with insurance companies. And if you want to be like that, you act as a seller. Once in a while, you'll get it wrong, right? Once in a while, you'll get it wrong. A perfect example is when I had like a $1.2 million position on puts on Tesla through the weekend. And if you guys remember, Elon put a Twitter poll out. This was before he owned Twitter. And he's like, everybody's bitching about executives not paying enough taxes. Should I sell some stock to pay taxes? And he puts a vote out there. And people voted yes. So the stock tanked on Monday. Over the weekend, I had $1.2 million worth of puts on Tesla. I woke up Monday morning and I was up $250,000 and I couldn't even help myself. I just punched the trade right away. I was like, I'm not sticking around. I could have gotten a lot more, but I was like, it's $252,000. Yeah, my point is, every once in a while, the seller gets screwed. the person who sold me those puts really lost a lot of money, right? I bought a directional put trade, but generally speaking, you're not going to go into the weekend and have the CEO of a company tank his own stock.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers that question. So 5 to 7 days, and you want to get 30 to 50%.
Very cool. Yeah. So people are asking for the link. I've posted the link several times in the chat there. If you're watching the replay, though, I know a lot of people will be watching this. It's down in the description below. But for you guys that are looking for the link at the moment, it's been posted in the chat by Stock Alerts Reviewed. That's me. Several times here, so hopefully you guys can see it fine. So I've also put the coupon code, which is 33% off, all one word, obviously, for the coupon code, and make sure you hit apply on that as well, and you'll get it for I think about $1,000 instead of $14.99. We tried to get it to $9.97, but there was a little hiccup with the coupon
we
code.
did our math wrong.
Yeah.
Russell and I put this together last second, man. I've only been back a few weeks. I love working with Russell. So Russell, even if this replay, you know what I mean, it's not perfect, we'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there's another little statement from somebody. Yes, it's great that you're back. I've been with Jason since 2015. It's great to see all the people that are still with you 10, 15 years later. It's really cool.
Yeah. I started crying the other day because I took 10 months off, of course, as a result of the divorce. And I didn't feel it was responsible to put out stock picks while I was kind of struggling with my divorce situation. I feel very strong now, so I'm really happy. But I wasn't sure if people would come back, and it's just been so overwhelming. Our chat room is just bustling with, I think that's a word, with excitement. So I'm a lifetime member of Jason's Always Honored Obligations. I do make my thanks, Kira. I appreciate you saying so.
Yeah, and that's why I love working with you too, Jason. Is there's so many positive comments you get in your Discord, and it's just you're. I think with you, I always really appreciated the amount of effort you put into the education. Whenever I'm in your services, it's like non-stop teaching. Like it's just fantastic. So
that's because I'm trying to learn myself as well. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate you saying so. I appreciate you guys and gals. Anybody who's been through divorce knows it's a little bit challenging. And so when I came back, I was like, I don't know if all my guys and gals will still be there. And like they just stepped right back in, and we are crushing it. I mean, I'm telling you, we had a bunch of big winners today. It's not every day is going to be like that, but I feel very clear-headed. And today was good. Like yesterday, we took a lot of big wins, and I knew it was not right to keep chasing the market, so I stayed away. I almost went with some bearish positions, but I stayed away. And then we had that huge pullback today in the Qs, and I was like, yes, I'm seeing things right. And then we bought the dip today, and I think my Tesla trade is already up 40%. I'm sorry, Meta. Got back into Meta today after the market fell 2%, just because it wasn't budging. The market fell 2% and Meta wasn't going with it. That expresses divergence, and it's because it's an earnings winner. How many trade alerts per week? So I have 6 different services. The 2 most popular are Jason Bond Picks, which is penny stocks. And then the other one is Weekly Windfalls. Historically, like I said, when we launched Weekly Windfalls, it sold $2 million worth of newsletter subscriptions in 30 minutes. That's a fact. And the reason why is because my members trust me, and I can't say that it works for everyone, but it's the best thing that I know how to do other than penny stocks. But penny stocks aren't options. People like options. I like options too. I buy options, but I can't explain to you this enough. Unless you're certain there's going to be a directional move, then you should be selling the puts or selling the calls. If you're certain there's going to be a directional move, then you should still be selling the puts and also buying the calls. And that is what all the big money traders do. And that is this, because any option you buy, you're fighting that theta decay. So you're just fighting time. So if you're fighting time, you might as well collect on that time as well. And most people just don't understand that. It's just buy a call, buy a put. And everybody's sucked into this zero DTE stuff nowadays, which is fine, but that's just pure gambling. I don't know anybody that's gotten rich off of zero DTEs. I've got a lot of I gave Porsches away to members who have made millions of dollars, and they didn't do it on zero DTEs. They did it on very consistent strategies like the one I'm teaching. I'm not saying anybody who joins me is going to make $1 million, but I've actually given away Porsches to people who have verifiably made $1 million or more. And one guy last I checked was up $15 million. He started with $3,000. The strategies that I teach are good. They're not guaranteed to make you money, but they're good. And I've done very well with them myself. And you might ask, well, then why do you teach? I have a master's in education. The whole reason I created this business was to teach. If you can make 2 sources of income, why wouldn't you? And you should.
That's what I tell people all the time.
Yeah, make as many as you want income coming from real estate, teaching, trading, everywhere you can get it.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you have a skill,
doesn't have one business.
Right? If you have a skill that you can monetize, it's stupid not to monetize it. That's why I always tell people, because I get that quite a lot. Oh, well, why do people teach if they can trade? Well, because you make double the money, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I'm launching my own meme coin here.
Right.
I'm working with the legal team right now to get it out the door. And but we're also going to teach the process of launching a meme coin. So if somebody else wants to try and do it, because a lot of people don't even know what a meme coin is. So not only am I launching a meme coin, I'm going to teach the process and also trade meme coins. So it's like now a subscriber of my meme coin business is going to learn how to launch their own coin if they want to. It's not as easy. Everybody just can't pick up and do it. I have a large following, but so I'm able to do it due to the demand. Kind of like, you remember when Trump was becoming president and the day before he launched Trump coin? Yeah. Portnoy flipped it for $1 million. I don't know if everybody knows that story, but like Trump, he's got a huge following. He's like, I'm going to become the president, and I'm also going to launch Trump coin. And he made billions of dollars off of that. It's like, so but people don't understand how it works. So I'm going to teach that as well. So I like to learn and I like to teach. And I taught for 10 years. I have a master's in education. My wife my ex has a master's in education. And I started a second master's in. So it's not a fake story. It's not like, oh, I like to teach. You hear these people all the time, like they're not actually good traders. And they're like, oh, it's because I like to teach. You know what I mean? It's like, well, but really, do you? It's like, I actually taught for a decade, coached for a decade. Like, I'm not saying people don't like to teach. I'm just saying, like, mine isn't bullshit.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
Any suggestions on broker? Yeah. If you're going to sell options, it would be Tasty Trade.
Yeah, I agree.
That's Tom Sow's baby. He created Thinkorswim. If you're just going to trade, like penny stocks, Webull's great because it's 0 commissions. They also have, coins that you can trade, and options are, I think options are free as well. Robinhood has gotten really good. I know that's where Jeff's trading out of now. Everybody used to love, Thinkorswim, which was out of TD Ameritrade. Charles Schwab bought them. I still like it. I think they probably have the best platform. But if you're just going to trade options, Tasty Trade, cheapest commissions, best platform. Just going to trade penny stocks, but not short sell them. Webull, I think. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Tasty's good. I use Tasty, and it's got some good margin. So it's really
and
good.
the app is amazing. Like for selling spreads, it's undeniably the best. But they don't allow you to trade a lot of penny stocks there. They have most of them blocked. So I have to have something like in between. So I use Centerpoint for short selling penny stocks, Webull for buying penny stocks, Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim for just everything. They're probably the most well-rounded, I would say.
Yep. A few questions about small account journey coming up. Here's one right here.
Yeah, I just started it yesterday.
When are you starting? So just start.
Yeah. First trade. So small account journey is basically the same strategy as weekly Windfalls, but it's a 2K balance. We started it Tuesday. Hit a 50% winner overnight, $700. The balance is up to $2,700 already, one trade. So, that I kind of just take slow. Today was not the day to take any risk for a 2K balance. So I told everyone, I was like, I know everybody likes to trade, being weekly Windfalls, that's where I take more risk. But when it comes to the 2K balance, a lot of people who are in a small account journey, that's all they have to trade with. So I take it very seriously. It's not an investment advisor, but if I think the waters are not safe to swim in, then I just don't do anything. But Tuesday into Wednesday, we hit 50% winner for $700, and that was nice. So the balance is at $2,700. If you want to do this strategy, the weekly Windfall strategy that we just taught you, but with a small balance, then you would join Small Account Journey. I'm sure Russell can get you a link for that at some point in time.
Yeah, I can post that in the chat in a minute. Maybe while you're answering the last question that I see here, I can get the links for Small Account Journey as well.
Yeah, this is a good question here. Small account journey versus weekly Windfalls. What are the differences? All right, so I launched weekly Windfalls. It was kind of like a big money spread service. So I would trade a few $100,000 on across like 3 or 4 trades in a given week. So Monday or Tuesday, I'm loading up the boat and I'm trying to get out by Friday. So the swings were pretty big. This was back when Trump was president the first time. So also in weekly Windfalls, I do my options buying. So I'll buy call debit spreads and I'll do a lot of UVXY puts. So I do a couple of niche things that I just wouldn't introduce to somebody with a 2K balance, just because they wouldn't be able to take advantage of it anyways. So weekly windfalls is generally for people with, you know, a balance, maybe 5, 10K or more, where a small account journey is for people with, you know, a 1 or 2K balance. So to do the spreads that I do, you have to have a minimum of $2,000, which is why we call it the $2,000 small account journey. If you could do them with $1,000, then we'd call it the $1,000 small account journey. But the brokers require you to have a minimum of $2,000. So that's why we do that. And it's generally one trade at a time. Try and roll it up to 5K, then split it into 2 trades at a time, 2,500 a piece. And once the balance gets to $10,000, keep it at 3,500 per trade consistently. And I did that. That was the time that I built the 2K into 60K. Weekly windfalls, it's mostly the same thing, but it could be like $20,000, $30,000 positions, you know. So you got a $30,000 trade on, you make 50%, you're walking out with $10,000, $15,000. But also we're buying a lot of puts on UVXY when appropriate, and then we're buying calls when we think there's a directional move and selling puts too. So it's just like the next level up, if that answers your question.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense to me. So is there any other questions? It looks like we're kind of at the end of the hour here, and there's not really any more questions coming in. So we'll give you guys another couple of minutes, and then, yeah. So I had a question for you, Jason. Like, how did you decide to start trading the weekly windfall strategy? Did you, like, what was your thought process? Were you like,
I mean, my business partner, Jeff Bishop, the majority owner of Raging Bull. He taught me how to trade penny stocks. So I remember, you know, this was a long time ago, like when Derek Jeter was promoting E-Trade, like right when online brokers became a thing. I was teaching elementary school. I was working with kids with disabilities. So I had about a 50 kid caseload, everything from autism to Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, spina bifida, you know, just every type of disability that like you would see across a school district with, let's see, 7 elementary schools, 5 classes per grade. It's a lot of kids, right? So my job was to go into the gym and adapt the curriculum so that the kid could participate, you know, whatever the disability was, because it was inclusive education versus like they do phys ed on their own. So you take the disability, you look at the lesson, and you modify it. And I would bebop around 7 elementary schools with about 50 kids on my caseload. And on my break time, I was broke. So I had a roofing business that I ran by myself. I coached 3 sports: girls varsity basketball, boys and girls varsity cross country, football, baseball, track and field. Roofing business, announcing sports games, just nonstop, just go. And so many students, we had about $250,000 worth of debt. I wrote a book on this. It's on Amazon called Swing for the Fences.
Oh,
and, yeah. It's just so much debt, you know, just like it paycheck to paycheck forever, you know. And my first house I bought right at the peak of the housing crisis, which I didn't even know what that was. So I did an adjustable rate mortgage. Like I didn't come from any money. Nobody in my family went to college. And we were broke. I mean, when I say broke, we were broke. So there was no conversation about money. I thought I was going to be a pro baseball player, tried out for the Braves, you know, South Carolina Gamecocks, didn't work out. So anyways, all the things I was trying was not leading to getting out of debt. Just the interest was consuming me. If anybody's been there before, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the credit cards, the car loans, the student loans, the mortgage, the home equity line of credit. It's like, and then, you know, so I did an adjustable rate mortgage, of course, and then the housing market crashed, the note went up. And at the end of the year, I owed more on the house than I started with, having made all the payments. So I started to try and figure out other ways to make money. And I saw people teaching trading. They were good at it. So I signed up, and I only had like $1,000, and I would usually blow up the account. And then it'd take a long time for me to replenish the 1,000. And I would try. And then eventually I started to get the hang of it, primarily because I started to cold call people that knew how to trade to teach me. I didn't have enough money to like pay these expensive subscription fees. So I called, and finally one person answered, and it was Jeff Bishop. Yeah. He let me start writing for him, which was nice. And I wrote for him for a few years, and then all of a sudden I started to know what I was doing, and he gave me a $200,000 account to manage, and I doubled it. And the rest is history. I eventually made so much money, I quit teaching, and I teach trading and trade, and it was good. I've had good and bad years, but my best year was back half of 2021. We were going through some legal stuff at the time, and we won that legal stuff, and so I got to trade for like the last 3 months of 2021, and I made $1.6 million in 3 months. I was just like, I was on a tear. Yeah, I took a lot of risk. I wouldn't necessarily say that I was. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's a strategy I would teach everybody. But no, I was excited. I was ripping 100K trades. I had that $250,000 Tesla trade. So, but it just started with a small penny stock account. Trading 0001s. I don't know if you know what those are, but the old OTCs that are 0001, like 0001. It's not even like a penny.
Yep. Crazy. So Astro Boy Ken saying that you're no longer a Raging Bull. We covered that a bit. He still owns Raging Bull with Jeff Bishop.
Yeah. I have all my ownership in Raging Bull. I've always wanted to just run my own Discord, and coming back from the divorce, Jeff and I thought it was a good time to give it a shot. So, and I'm building this thing out pretty big. We got a few thousand people in there already, tens of thousands of paying customers who are moving over to it. Which is difficult to do because not everybody knows how to use Discord, including myself. But it's actually really, I mean, Raging Bull's platform is second to none. Discord's just cool that, it's just, there's a lot of big trading groups there. So it's easy for me to find new customers, and I've always liked trading in Discord groups myself. So I'm giving it a shot. I don't know how it'll go, but yeah, I'm totally still with Raging Bull. Just my services are separate from it.
Yeah, Discord's good. The fact you can post to channels and they get pushed to people's cell phones and things as well. It's pretty.
Yeah. Good. So and I'm going to introduce text messaging too, but I've heard that Discord can basically do that for you. So I'm kind of in the learning phase still. I have all the support of the engineers at Raging Bull and stuff, but their primary focus is of course Raging Bull. So I get a little bit of help here and there, and they're moving it along for me. It's come a long way. So I can't be more pleased. I'm in both worlds and I love it. So,
yeah. Well, it's awesome. So, last question is: do you do a lot of bull put trades and sometimes bear call trades?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, generally speaking, I like to do bull puts on earnings winners trading above the 10-day EMA. It's a pretty easy strategy. If a company like Meta has great earnings, it's going to pop. It'll retrace into some sort of cup and handle or some sort of bullish chart pattern. It'll settle at the 10 and then it'll trend up. And so you just keep selling puts below that level. But if something gets egregiously overbought, I remember MSTR was back before the split, it was like at 1,400. It was just straight up every day, And I got mad aggressive against that. I just I was putting on big bear call trades. So yeah, if I think something's overbought and it's going to crash, kind of like GameStop did, GME. I didn't do it on GME, but I did it on AMC. I did large bear call spreads on AMC when the mania, was out there. So I mean, just because something's overbought doesn't mean it won't keep going is the problem. So, but if you take an earnings winner with strong guidance and you sell put spreads against it, the odds of that going poorly that's how I won 69 trades in a row. I'm not kidding you. I've got proof those were all real money trades. It was 2 months straight. I couldn't believe it. I was like, and then I've never won 69 straight trades. It's so long. I'm not talking about little scalps in and out. I'm talking about 30, 50, 70% winners. I mean, the money was adding up fast. It was nice. Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, awesome. Well, I think that's all the questions, and it's been great having you on today, Jason, and I'm excited.
I love you, Russell. Thank you for having me here.
Have you back on soon. Yeah. And for any of you guys that are new to my channel, if you could hit subscribe, it would be awesome. I'd love that a lot. I know a lot of you guys probably know me already, but for the guys that maybe are new to my channel, I do a lot of reviews of trading services and education, and I'm sure Jason will be back to do some more presentations with me on small account journey or something in the future. So
let's do penny stocks next. That's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
And I'm full of piss and vinegar right now, Russell. So I will absolutely be back.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, Phil Shepard says Russell is the man. Well, thanks, Phil. That's awfully nice of you. So I know I actually was telling people you made $1 million 1 year just trading penny stocks when you were when you were a bit younger, right? You did a
yeah, no, it took yeah. So my best year was trading. It was mostly options when I made the 1.6 million.
Oh, was it? All right, I guess
No. So when I started with Jeff, it took me, I think, about 6 or 7 years to cross the $1 million mark. I was only trading $100,000 portfolios. So some years I would make like 50K. One year I turned 100,000 into almost 500,000. So, you know, with $100,000 balance, like, I mean, you hear these stories about guys who go out and they take 5K and they turn it into millions. But what we would do is we'd always rebalance the portfolio at the end of the year and donate most of it to charity. So I think I donated almost $1 million in trading profits across those years to charity. I remember the biggest one was St. Jude's for, I think, $220,000. So we'd rebalance back down and go back up. To make $1 million fast, you don't want to take the money out. You just got to scale the strategy. You got to keep doing the same thing, but just with bigger size. And that's where you make the big bucks. So my first $1 million in penny stocks was across the course of a number of years. We had that audited. That came out, you know, recently in that little legal spat that we had. But just past that, back half 2021, I think it was 3, maybe 4 months. But I was trading a big account. So I was trading a few $1 million, so 1.6 million really isn't, but it was in 3 months. So it's like, I think I had like 10 $100,000 plus winning trades, maybe more, and then that big $250,000 Tesla trade. So I was bebopping in the market. Then I was happy to be back. I hadn't traded in like 9 months because of what was going on. So, but yeah, my first $1 million, and that was a combination of stuff that I did in Jeff's accounts, Raging Bull's accounts, and my accounts. Meaning, like, you know, it wasn't just a pure, you know, it wasn't just a pure Jason account. So, I mean, when I started trading, I had $5,000, and Jeff and I proposed this business to Jeff, and he's like, nobody's going to take you seriously with $5,000. So then he's like, here, trade this E-Trade account. And I opened it up and it's like $197,000. So I was like, wait, who has $197,000? And secondly, I've only known you for 2 months and you're actually giving me control of it. Like,
that's hilarious.
It turned into a good business though. I think it paid off for him. So
how do you think penny stocks are doing these days compared to options? So my feeling is a lot of people have gone away from penny stocks and they're trading options a lot more for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I still think your best bet to make a lot of money over time is in penny stocks, and there's a few reasons for that. The theta decay of options is almost impossible to beat. You really have to be good with your timing. You have to know what you're doing, and most people just don't. So yes, everybody likes to go to options just like they like to go to casino, but they don't really care if they win. You know, the guys who I know who win, it's a system, and they don't mess around with it. They stick to it. So that would, you know, I'm not saying options are bad. But I think the place to go next is, you know, cryptocurrencies, not Bitcoin, but meme coins. Like, you know, I know it's in a dip right now, but it's proven that it keeps coming out of the dips. And we've got a pro, you know, coin presidency right now. And I don't think that's going to change next term either. So the future, I think, is there. It's almost like I think coins are going to be the next round of penny stocks. 20 years ago, like, penny stocks were the thing. I still like them. Like I said, I was up $7,000 on that trade tonight. You know, pretty predictable trade. So they still move a lot. And I guess it just depends on what you like. But if I had to give anybody any advice, not financial advice, but just advice of where the markets are going to be, I still think small caps are the place to be because you're not competing against institutional investors. I still think selling options is the place to be because, generally speaking, the time decay is going to play out in your favor. I think meme coins is definitely the future. Probably it could be for the rest of our lifetime. I mean, I'm 49. I don't know. I don't think I'll make it to 100. But so for the next 20 years, meme coins is probably going to be a great place to go. And the nice thing about that is you can get percentage returns on those that are significantly better than penny stocks. You just have to make sure you're not trading the ones that they can pull the rug on. And a lot of people don't understand the structure of a meme coin. And I'm going to teach that. As I set mine up, I'm setting up legally where it can't have a rug pull. You know, that way people have confidence in it. It has utility. But a lot of people out there are scamming people because it's not highly regulated. So they set up a meme coin with a rug pull potential, and then they sell all their shares, and it's over. You know what I mean? We've all seen it. You know, so I think those things. But yeah, everybody's going to the options, especially 0 DTE, right? Because it's like cocaine. It's like cocaine, Adderall, every drug you could possibly inject into your arm, all in one. You know, and I love zero DTE too. But as far as like making a career as a trader, I think it's a fun thing to do on the side, and hopefully it builds the balance.
Yeah.
And then, you know, back off from the zero DTE stuff. And, you know, I think John Carter's a perfect example. Jeff Bishop interviewed him the other day. It's like, you know, John, when he sees a move, I remember his Google trade where he made $4 million. It's like he sold a shit ton of put spreads because he knew it might take time for the move to happen, but he had the catalyst and he rode that, man. He rode the theta decay with the put spreads, and eventually Google did make that move. And I don't remember the exact number, but he cashed in for like $4 million. But it took like a month, you know. But when he sees a move, he's selling big put spreads. He's buying in the money calls. He's buying call debit spreads. He pushes in his chips. And I think that's the way to win as an options trader. I've seen a couple of guys scalp options that do pretty good, but I don't know that you can beat, you know, a John Carter strategy as far as like options trading. But unfortunately, most people don't do it that way. You know,
right.
Gamble. So
shall we finish off with one of your favorite questions that I'm sure you're not fed up with whatsoever? What have I already purchased SAJ from Raging Bull?
Then you just email me, jason@ragingbull.com, and I give you a coupon and you're off and running.
Yep. You get switched over.
Yeah.
Right, Jason. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a good discussion, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing where things go with you going forward. And if you guys want to purchase weekly Windfalls, the link's in the chat. It's also in the description of the video if you're watching the replay. And hopefully you guys had a good time talking to Jason. And I think we're good to go for the night. Yeah. So thanks again.
All right. Thursday night, guys and gals, go crack a beer or a glass of wine. Russell, love you, man. I can't wait to do more stuff with you. Guys and gals, whoever came tonight, I appreciate your time. I really do. All right. Hope to see you in the chat room. We have a free chat room, but also we have the premium service, and that's where I prefer you to be. So look for Russell's link, get the coupon. Make sure you know it's not spelling % out. It's the percentage symbol. Yeah. So 33 percentage symbol. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And you won't get that deal anywhere else. So hopefully you jump on that tonight. And
you heard it here first.
Yep.
Good to be back, Russell.
All right. Have a good night, Jason.
All right, brother. You too. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.